We got a director's take from Aaron Keller himself, looking beyond Overwatch 2 Invasion. Overwatch 2 Invasion launched last week and was our biggest season launch ever. I'd actually say it was probably even bigger than the original Overwatch 2 launch. Content-wise, the release included work from every section of the Overwatch team, and we've been looking forward to sharing what we've built with all of you for a long time. We made additions to the core PvP games, as well and other features, a new battle pass, and a null sector theme that we received great feedback early on. That we received great feedback early on. We also launched the first chapter of our story missions and ran a co-op event alongside their release. We've heard from many of our core players that the game is in its best state it's ever been. And many have told us that it feels like we're really listening to their feedback and that this season is a culmination of that. It's so awesome to hear. Like I said, it really truly does feel like we're kind of being listened to at this point. Like all the culminations of months have kind of started to come together. And this statement right here is like almost word for word what I said. Almost a direct reference. I don't know if Aaron actually watches my stream. I know Aaron has definitely seen my content many times before, because God, I don't know if I'm gonna get in trouble for it. I don't think I'm gonna get in trouble for this, but remember forever ago, I did a thing where I watched it was like an Xbox showcase where Aaron was playing Ryan with like a bunch of creators, and I was hyping him up for going crazy. Yeah, he saw that, by the way, and he like sent it to like it was like his mom or something like that, and he was like, "Yo, that was awesome. That made me really, really happy." And that's the kind of stuff that really like hits here, you know. That was months ago, so hopefully I don't get in trouble for sharing that. Anyways, Illari, our newest support hero, was introduced this season. Players have given us a lot of feedback about her. Our balance patch for the release of Illari was to make sure that she felt strong but not overpowered at launch. I think we hit that goal. Illari is very strong, but some of what helps Illari not feel overpowered is her support role and kit. We were to release a damage hero with a one-shot ability. We would be a little more careful with their power level. Illari will enter our ranked mode on Thursday, August 24th, and we'll be making a few adjustments to her by then. Most likely her healing pylon and her ultimate. We were just given. I've already given takes on this, but the pylon's the only thing I would probably nerf. The ultimate's still strong. If I truly had to pick something for the ult, I would probably say not going through shields, just because, like, I don't know, that's a kind of a slippery slope. You know what I mean? We also released a new game mode Flashpoint with 2 unique maps this season. While there's been a lot of talk about Illari in other parts of the Overwatch 2 Invasion, we're seeing lower conversion around this mode. Players are busy with the new hero and everything else released this season, so it's understandable. But we still want the mode to be as good as possible. So let us have it. We'd like to know what people like and dislike with Flashpoint and what we can iterate on it. ML just had a great idea on the podcast. We should add the escort lines where it tells you how to get to point the fastest, because the map's so big. Having like a fastest way to get their line to follow, I think would be great. We're also talking about when to bring Flashpoint to ranked. Bearing any other bugs or exploits, we'd like to start ranked matches sooner rather than later. Actually, it's already in ranked at this exact moment. So this was written definitely in the past. And I mean like at least a few days ago. A big part of this season was the release of our first set of story missions, which has seen more discussion than any other part this season. Some of the discussion has been critical, and I'll get to that, but one of the things that I love seeing was the legendary runs that people were streaming online. We were doing that. These missions on legendary are hard, super hard. Most people can't complete them at this difficulty, and those that did had to devise custom strategies and team comps for their hardest encounters. Dude, this was literally us. Originally we had a Rhine comp. We had Brig, Rhine, Echo, Sojourn for the second mission, and eventually we swapped it to Diva, Echo, Sojourn, Lucio, because we needed extra boops and extra lives. I know there's other creators that did J, ML, etc., but like my group was Emong, me, Car, Q, Seagull, So it was a fun time. I hope they actually saw it. I hope they had a lot of fun time with it. If you're a content creator who completed the Legendary and you're reading this post, pat yourself on the back. Thanks, Aaron. You were great entertainment. Only 1.6% of attempts successfully completed Gothenburg on Legendary, and 0.7 of attempts on Toronto were successful. That's actually interesting that Toronto was harder than Gothenburg. But not that surprising, because Gothenburg was only hard because the turret was bugged for Brig. Like, you couldn't stun people around the turret. But other than that, though, it wasn't the worst, but Toronto was so hard. We feel like we learned something with this level of difficulty and are excited to apply it and expand it to our future co-op content. We also launched on Steam last week, and although being review bumped isn't a fun experience, it's been great to see lots of new players jump into Overwatch 2 for the first time. Our goal with Overwatch 2 has been to make the game more accessible than ever for players than ever before. More people than ever before. Sorry, excuse me. Many of the reviews on Steam mentioned the cancellation of the much larger component of PvE that was announced in 2019 as their primary reason for the dissatisfaction of the game. I get that. That announcement was about an ambitious project that we ultimately couldn't deliver. Yes, that is literally exactly what it was. Nailed it. If we can't turn back the clock, then what can we do? We can keep adding to and improving Overwatch 2. That is how we move forward. This means more maps, heroes, game modes, missions, stories, events, cool cosmetics and features, and ever-expanding involvement and improving of the game. This is the future of Overwatch, one where we will continually create and innovate on what is making the game great now for the players who are playing it now. Dude, this is so well said. This is literally exactly how we just had a whole podcast talking about. This was almost my exact take word for word. The way you make people forget about things and move on is just make better content. And Aaron knows that. He accepts it. He's like, dude, I inherited this. He didn't make these promises. He inherited a lot of the stuff that happened, and he's in control, and he wants to move on. He wants to make the game better. And so he's basically saying to us, hey, I can't turn back the clock. I can't do that. But what I can do is make sure you get better content in the future. And I fucking love that. Overwatch is such a unique game and world. When our heroes are all working together to complete an objective, there is nothing else like it. Jump in and there's more to come. As always, thanks for reading and see you in game. Aaron, I hope if you ever see this someday, this is one of the best blog posts I've ever read. Thanks so much for all you do for this game. And I think you guys truly have, you guys are finally in the driver's seat and ready to make this the best game possible. It's going to take a lot of time. I think it might take a year or two, genuinely. But this is actually the most hopeful I've seen Overwatch since before Overwatch 2 even launched. And the reason we were all so hopeful for Overwatch 2 launching is because we were in the absolute shitter of Overwatch 1 and literally were spiraling. I'm talking, you talk about dooming now. We were so doom spiraled in Overwatch 1 that it should be a case study for therapists soon to come. You know, it should be literally a Netflix documentary on how bad things had gotten. So, you know what? This is actually a really good one. I like this a lot. It shows that they're very much in touch with the community. Now let's just see some results. That's all. Also, very interestingly, someone screenshotted this for me earlier. Someone tweeted at Jared, also make ranks visible again, and he responded with eyes emoji. Okay. What are you guys up to over there? It's interesting.